2, 1, 2, 3. Is testing? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Try this one more time. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What is going on, everyone? It's your favorite racing fighter role playing gaming shackle, Goddrifter, and due to due to the passing of a legendary legendary icon, a inspire a role model, a legend. We lost Ken Block a few years ago, and for those that didn't check out um, the video it will be in the recently uploaded video, and yes, and the video is called Ken Block Tribute. That's basically what it is. It's a Ken Block tribute for what it is. And it was me drifting with the Focus GR3, which is the closest thing I can actually use to a RSRX, because of the fact that I don't have a because I was saying Gran Turismo mode didn't have any cars similar to that. Um, it was heartbreaking basically. So for the most part, I didn't bother telling you guys about the schedule it's gonna be um, from this entire year. So without further ado, it's time to actually do the motor pass. Now the thing is, I have not done the motor pass in basically a couple of weeks. I see. I stopped at week 4, um, and then I actually had to take the break from the game because I have instant burnout of racing games, and I was playing a lot of role playing games. That's the reason why I'm back in my actual glory, basically. Um, so yeah, it's time for me to do the time to do the thing, aka aka me driving the absolute mess out of a um, Chiron Sport 200 Plus, which is not bad. um, and I am drinking a morning shake, and it's raining outside. Now, for those that are Californian or similar to, like, based in Arizonan or a Nevadan, or you're from Oregon, you probably would. Sorry for my freaking voice crack. You would notice the amount of rain that came in recently. Well, not gonna lie, I am just as confused. Oh my goodness. Okay. No, I think the only street car is the freaking Type 57, and that's because that is a classic, old school like machine that came out in the 1930s. Jesus Christ! I think that's probably our oldest. That's probably the oldest car in this game. Well, probably the second oldest because there's also another vehicle that's hot rod based. All right. Now, folks, I'm wondering. I am legit going to do the entirety of that. What the heck? Oh, okay. I'm not gonna question it. Those are kind of curious. The one I'm going to do for this one. I am indeed going to be using the oh my god. This is during grabbing. We stopped during crap. Oh my god. Why during traffic cars? Jesus. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it is really confused. Like, how in the world? Oh god, no! I don't know if it's just me, but I think they nerfed the 300 plus. I don't know if it's just me. Because keep in mind, haven't played this game in. Keep in mind, I started playing this game again around like the moment when the new season came out, and then I came back just because of the Elite bundle, and that was about it. Which by the timing of this live stream, I have not played this game in weeks. Like, we're talking literal weeks. Because I was so focused on the other games, and I was busy playing Xenoverse 2, which I might stream that on Twitch. Now keep in mind, I'm not a Twitch person. I'm mostly YouTube. But I do have a Twitch, which is basically the same thing as my YouTube channel. And yes, basically it. I don't know. The thing is, the question that I'm asking myself is, why doesn't Xenoverse 2 allow people to stream their game on YouTube? And I'm thinking, like, it's because of spoilers. If it's spoiler related, then it shouldn't record anything. But instead, it's like, oh no, you're not gonna stream this game because it's gonna involve some full-on spoilers. I'm like, okay, people are not gonna buy it. I think if anything, people are just gonna download the light version, which is possibly the most limited variant of the game I've ever seen. Now, keep in mind, I've played a limited game before, and its name is Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires Free Alliance Edition, which I am not joking, I could have saved so much money if I literally just went and buy the actual game instead of, you know, instead of downloading the Free Alliance version because it was free. And it's like, okay, cool, I actually kind of like this game. I end up like kid you not, this was before I ended up getting a PS4 again. You know, this is before I got the PS4. I downloaded Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires Edit Mode demo, and that was probably one of my favorite demos I played. Because every single weapon was accessible, except for the ranks. weapons. Like some of the weapons are DLC and all, but that's because it was from different characters. Now, if you're talking Dynasty Warriors 8 Empire specifically, there was literally a limit. It was a small number of weapons you can actually choose in that game. And then every single time I saved up, I kid you not, I saved up, saved up, and keep in mind this when GameStop was not being a full-on, Slavkovich, basically. Um, I end up buying a PlayStation card for $10, and it's usually in the receipt. And that receipt, here's the thing, I usually kept the receipt, and then usually when I get home, put in the card in, and then put in the code in. It was $10. Boom! I got $10 on my account. Now, did I spend it on games? Maybe. Keep in mind this is a small maybe because I remember one time my mom got me my first $50 PlayStation card when it was one of my birthdays. I am not joking when I say this. If there's one game I regret buying, and one of the games was not Hot Pursuit 2010. And keep in mind, I bought that game on digital because I was easier to get on digital than to get the game like on disc, because you never know what happened to that. You never know what happened to that game when someone has played it for so long. And that's how you know I wasn't the OG of. I wasn't there like since day one. Like for those that played Hot Pursuit 2010 or the remastered variant, I didn't get those games until say 2 to 3 years later. I am not joking when I say this because I remember one time I had, it turns out like, my first, okay, so here's the thing, my first ever game I purchased on the PlayStation Store that wasn't a demo was Midnight Club Los Angeles Complete Edition, and that was for the PS3. And I kid you not, I must have restarted that game more than once because I keep on messing up. I keep on buying cars and not upgrading them to where it's supposed to be. And keep in mind, in terms of the difficulty ranking for all 4 games, Midnight Club Los Angeles was probably the easiest game to beat. I am not joking when I say this, because if you think, let's think of it this way. Of all 4 games, if you think the first one is the easiest to beat, then you must be good at the game. If you think Midnight Club 2 was easy to beat, you must have either use cheat codes, or you use a full-on, or you use freaking Game Shark of all things. You think Midnight Club 3 was easy to beat? Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. If you think Midnight Club Los Angeles is easy to beat, then that means that you have skill and you know what card to buy instead of literally relying on, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with this card with the most stats. Yeah, no, that ain't happening. Let's think of it this way. You end up buying, let's say for example, like in Midnight Club Los Angeles, you end up buying your first, let's say that you won the Shelly Camaro. The Camaro may have more acceleration and more top speed, but the handling sucks. That's basically what it was. it's essentially like, oh yeah, I got a free muscle car, and guess what? You ended up getting getting that exact mission to race to win 6 races using muscle cars. That's basically how it is. And oh dear God, yeah, there's one thing I noticed in in both Metal Club 3 and Metal Club Los Angeles. Metal Club 3 has you winning the least amount of cars, because the majority of the cars you get are from tournaments. And and that's not just tournaments, but basically it's not just tournaments. You also win championship cars. So as I was saying, something before I got interrupted by Siri of all people. There was the 300. There's also the Escalade, the SL500, the Cadillac CN, the IS300, the what's that called? The Fleetline, the SS1000, and I think last but not least, man, there's, my goodness. Real quick, there's also there was another vehicle, but I think there was also I think that's about it. I think like that's all the tournament cars. The club cars in our hand are what makes the game difficult, because keep in mind that you had to buy the fastest class
now you
of
got
that
room
vehicle,
to run.
which keep in mind is not easy due to the fact that the majority of the cars, and keep in mind, it's not, for most people it's about acceleration, but if your car has less than 5 gears, or less than 5 or 6, then you have a problem. And keep in mind, I challenged myself to use to use a vehicle in club races with said vehicle. Case in point, the Yukon Denali from the remix variant of the game. That truck was probably the most difficult one to use for 2 reasons. One is because it's a nerfed version of the Escalade, and 2 is also because the truck, I kid you not, has 4 stinking gears. Yeah, a Yukon Denali, a luxurious, well, actually the second most luxurious GM truck you can ever have, has 4 gears. Specifically, it is a 4-speed auto. So yeah, basically it's a 4 to 5 to 6-speed auto, and then there's also I don't think they come out automatic. Wait, no, it's not manual. My bad. So, okay, let me try this again. so basically, this is what it is. It's a GM produced truck that is. Keep in mind, this is the GM T800 chassis, which that will be where the Tahoe, the Suburban, Yukon Denali, and Escalade actually came from. Like this, keep in mind, this was the 2nd gen Tahoe, where this is the let's see, GMT 800s. That will be the 7th gen Suburban, and I can say the same thing with the other vehicle that I had to use in order to actually get an edge, or actually make this challenging for myself. The El Diablo Softail. Now, for those who are wondering, the El Diablo Softail is a chopper that was actually is ironically one of my favorite bikes. Keep in mind, keep in mind the CFL from West Coast Choppers was pretty cool. It was until I saw that El Diablo Softail, and I was in love. I was like, I need that bike. So, um, ended up getting the bike. It was, keep in mind, out of all the vehicles, I despise using choppers. Like, I'm sorry for those that like using choppers in a Midnight Club. I just didn't like it. Like, if anything, it was like a nerfed version of the sport bike. Now, the sport bike, easily an overpowered vehicle. It is until you hit something, or hit a vehicle, or you land too hard, or you messed up on a stunt that you decide to, oh yeah, I'm gonna stun these hitters. Lands horribly and you crashed. And then you reset, and then you're in like 4th, 5th place. It's like, what the heck? What happens? Like, because you decide to quote unquote stunt on the haters, and there you go. You ended up in 4th or 5th place. Actually, yeah. If anything, Metal Club 3 actually, my bad. I thought Metal Club 3 has the least amount of cars you win. Nah, that. Now, if anything, Medical Los Angeles has the least amount of cars you win. Reason being, because the first 3 vehicles you won, the 3 first vehicles you won will be a 280Z from Carol, a Camaro from Nikolai, and a Ford Focus from Marcel. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then it introduced us to the Pink Slip races, which is unfortunately a one-time thing. And then in terms of the actual districts, so in Hollywood you race against Chung He with the Pontiac Firebird. You won, and this, and I kid you not, this freaking Firebird is straight up this car was straight up drag pack. Skinnies in the front, fatties in the rear. It was a full on small tire. It was small rim, big tire set. I was like, this thing's a full on drag car. How the heck did he get his hands on that? The other one, easily the hardest one of them all. When I first started playing the game, it was racing Lester for his RX-8. I kid you not. That Remesis motor of that vehicle, straight up overpowered. Especially if you don't know what you're doing when you first started playing the game. Up next, it is I think Downtown is probably one of the easiest, and the reason I say it was the easiest is because of, well, for one, it is involved in the story, and apparently, Jin's car was sabotaged. Not gonna lie, you raced Jin for his 350Z Roadster, and actually, that's the one thing I want to ask. Why in the world would you? Well, okay, so here's the thing. Of all the tuner cars you can get a convertible to, and there are coupe options for it, which is a lot more popular. You end up getting the, like, okay, Midnight Club. There's this one I want to ask. Why in the actual heck did you grab the freaking 350Z Roadster? I'm sorry if you 350Z Roadster owners. I'm sorry. But Midnight Club, why in the world did you pick that when you can perfectly use a 350Z coupe? I kid you not, it was one of the most confusing things that actually boggles my mind to this day. It's like, why in the world did they pick the Roadster instead of the coupe? And in mind, the Roadster is not even as popular as the Coupe. In fact, the Coupe actually is more popular for some odd reason. I don't know what it is. It's like, oh yeah, the Coupe, yeah, we totally have that. Oh, you're not gonna use, wait, so you gotta use the Roadster? Oh, the Roadster? Oh, okay, you can use the Roadster. You don't know how stupid that sounds. It's like, oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, here you go. You have a freaking 350Z Roadster, and yet there are other vehicles that can actually use as a convertible. Okay, now here's the thing about the other vehicles. So in terms of the Roadster variants of the vehicles, so let's start with the 350Z. 350Z, don't know why they do that. Mustang, I kind of get it, I don't get it at the same time. Like, get and. Keep in mind, there's also a Celine coupe version of said Mustang, which a lot of people are gonna buy that instead of the full-on Mustang GT convertible. There's also the Roadster version of the V8 Vantage, which I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then it gets to the weirder picks, alright. First one is the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider. Why Rockstar? Why in the world just grab the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider when you actually have a perfectly used coupe that is waiting to get dusted off? And oh yeah, no, I'm not done with that game yet, because keep in mind that there's also the South Central pack, which, well, not gonna lie, I say it was pretty cool. Like, it makes kind of makes sense, and kind of makes no sense. I feel like I'm missing. Oh right, the other pink set card. I do remember correctly, it was the. Huh. Well, if I remember correctly, there was the GTO. There's also the... Oh, I remember. It's the freaking Evo. Specifically the Evo 9, if I remember correctly. Because I do remember that wasn't an Evo 8. It was an Evo 9 that you can actually win from beating, I think his name is Pete, in the Valley betting place thing. But for those who wondering what my favorite variant of Gathering cars in, it is in the form of these time trials. Now, these are not like auto lock type time trials. These time trials are actually AI generated, depending on how fast you went. And I kid you not, I went too fast where I literally cruised it to the finish line with literally 1 second to spare. And I was like, okay, I finally got it, yay! And then the AI beats it, and it's like, okay, I can actually do this again. And then the final one is literally just full on speed demon the absolute mess out of the track. And I was like, my god, I think I went. I guess I was. And keep in mind, I was a little bit cocky when I started playing the game again. I was like, okay, that's cool. What else can I actually do? And it was pretty fun. That's the one thing I can say about Midnight Club Essentials. It was a pretty fun game, especially if it's online. Like, I keep